The unthinkable has just been spoken aloud in the hallowed halls of the British establishment. We are not talking about a scandal. We are not talking about a feud. We are talking about an existential threat. The warning lights are flashing red, and the message delivered directly to King Charles III is chilling in its absolute clarity. The monarchy is in danger of collapse. This is the seismic warning that has shaken the very foundations of Buckingham Palace. It is the kind of statement that keeps kings awake at night. And in response to this terrifying prediction, King Charles has been forced to push the nuclear button. He is taking actions so drastic, so painful, and so ruthless that they will change the history of the royal family forever. We are witnessing the systematic erasure of a royal prince. Prince Andrew, the former Duke of York, the Queen's favorite son, is being stripped down to the studs. He is being renamed, repurposed, and removed. We are hearing reports that he will simply be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. The message is brutal. You are no longer one of us. You are just a man with a famous last name. Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to the channel. If you cherish the history of the crown and understand that sometimes a king must be a butcher to save the kingdom, you are in the right place. Today, we are deep diving into the crisis that is consuming the House of Windsor. A crisis so profound that royal experts are suggesting any sign of weakness, any hesitation from the king, could spell the end of this 1,000-year-old institution. We are watching a king face the agonizing choice between the brother he grew up with and the crown he swore to protect. Grab your tea, settle in, because the details emerging about the showdown at Royal Lodge and the secret role Prince William is playing in this execution reveal a monarchy fighting for its very life. Let's unpack this danger of collapse warning because it is not hyperbole. It is a cold, hard calculation. The immediate catalyst for this stark ultimatum isn't a foreign war or a constitutional crisis with Parliament. It is the perpetual, lingering, toxic presence of Prince Andrew and his former wife, Sarah Ferguson, within the orbit of the royal family. They are the ghosts that refuse to leave the feast. Royal expert Phil Dampier, writing a blistering opinion piece, did not mince words. He stated unequivocally that the king must exhibit absolute strength. He argued that as long as Andrew is allowed to linger like a bad smell, clinging to the trappings of royalty, living in a palace, riding horses in the park, the public perception will be that he is getting away with it. And that perception is poison. We live in an era where trust in institutions is at an all-time low. The public tolerates the monarchy because they represent service, duty, and dignity. Prince Andrew represents none of those things. He represents entitlement. He represents the worst excesses of the aristocracy. And Dampier's analysis cuts to the bone. If the public sees the king protecting his brother out of sentimentality, they will turn on the king. Dampier's prescription is brutal but clear. King Charles cannot afford a single moment of compassion. His actions must be strong, permanent, and undeniable. Anything less than a complete severing of ties will be interpreted as a fudge, a temporary fix that leaves the door open for a disastrous comeback. This is the agonizing dilemma facing Charles III. We know he loves his family. We know he has a soft spot for Andrew. But the demands of the crown supersede personal feelings. The institution is greater than any individual, even the king's own flesh and blood. Charles is being told in no uncertain terms, kill the relationship or watch the throne crumble. Now let's talk about the battlefield where this war is being fought. It isn't a courtroom, it's a house, specifically Royal Lodge. For those who don't know, Royal Lodge is not a cottage. It is a magnificent 30-room mansion located deep within Windsor Great Park. It has swimming pools, chapels, and acres of manicured gardens. It was the home of the Queen Mother. It is a symbol of supreme royal status. And for years, Andrew has sat there, protected by a long-standing lease, believing he was untouchable. He thought that piece of paper was his shield. He thought he could wait out the storm behind the high walls of the estate, but King Charles has decided that the optics of a disgraced, non-working royal living in a publicly subsidized palace are simply untenable. The king has been determined to remove Andrew from this property as part of his vision for a slimmed-down monarchy. But removing him was complicated. Andrew, to his credit or perhaps his arrogance, has a valid lease. He refused to leave. He refused to move to Frogmore Cottage. He dug his heels in. But now the hammer has fallen. According to senior aides cited by the experts, the urgency of this relocation is paramount. The king has initiated the formal legal process to surrender the lease. This is not a request anymore. This is a legal eviction notice served by the sovereign. Why now? Because the king knows that he cannot enter the next phase of his reign with this anchor around his neck. The report states that Andrew will now be forced to move to alternative private accommodation. That phrase is humiliating. It means go find a condo, go buy a house like a normal person. You are no longer a ward of the state. This move signals the end of Andrew's protected status. His legal shield has been neutralized by the king's ruthless determination. And let's be honest, the upkeep of Royal Lodge is astronomical. We've seen the photos of the peeling paint and the damp. Andrew can't afford it. He is holding on to a rotting symbol of his past power, and the king is finally taking the keys away before the whole thing collapses, literally and metaphorically. But here is the twist that makes this story truly Shakespearean. The king is not acting alone. Behind the throne, in the shadows, stands the Prince of Wales, William. And reports suggest that William is the one stiffening his father's backbone. Royal expert Phil Dampier strongly believes that Prince William is actively involved in this push for decisive action. He suggests that William is driving the timeline. Why? Because William is the future. William looks at the monarchy and sees a business that he will one day inherit. He does not want to inherit a business that is drowning in debt and scandal. He does not want to spend the first 10 years of his reign cleaning up the mess left by his uncle. He wants the house clean now. William is known to be much less sentimental than Charles. He has a ruthless streak when it comes to protecting the brand. We saw it with Harry. William cut Harry off the moment he betrayed the family. Now, he is applying that same cold logic to Andrew. William understands implicitly that he cannot inherit a monarchy still plagued by the Epstein scandal. His focus is on long-term institutional stability. By pushing his father to act now, William is ensuring that the difficult, unpopular work is done before he takes the crown. It is a strategic maneuver by the two most senior men in the firm to sanitize the brand. Imagine the dinner conversations between Charles and William. Charles, perhaps wavering, perhaps feeling guilty about kicking his brother while he's down. And William, the steel-eyed realist, reminding him of the polls, reminding him of the headlines, reminding him of the danger of collapse. William is effectively saying, "It's him or us, Dad." The most devastating blow, however, is not the loss of the house. It is the loss of the name. The king is reportedly initiating the process to strip Andrew of his style, titles, and honors entirely. This attacks the very identity of the man. We are told the result of this process is final and stark. He will now be known simply as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Let's pause and think about the psychology of that. This is a man who was born His Royal Highness. He was the spare before Harry was even a glint in Charles's eye. He was a war hero in the Falklands. He was the Duke of York. His entire sense of self is wrapped up in his rank. To be reduced to Mr. Mountbatten Windsor is a public castration. It places him firmly in the private sphere. It is the king saying, "You are no longer special." And the reaction from the York camp? Pure, unadulterated rage. Royal expert Helena Chard provided insight into Andrew's current state of mind, confirming that the former Duke is at loggerheads with his brother. It is a bitter stalemate. Andrew feels betrayed. He feels a profound sense of injustice. According to Chard, Andrew believes he has played ball. He stepped back from public duties. He settled the lawsuit without admitting liability. He stayed quiet during the coronation. He believes his compliance should earn him some mercy. He believes his valid lease should be respected. He views this through the lens of family obligation, thinking, "I am your brother, you should protect me." Charles views it through the lens of constitutional duty, thinking, "I am the king, I must protect the crown." These two worldviews are colliding, and only one can win. Andrew is reeling. He is desperate. He is watching his life's work and his status being erased in real time. And he knows that once he leaves Royal Lodge, once he loses the title, he becomes just another disgraced celebrity living in obscurity. The fear of irrelevance is palpable. We cannot discuss this without looking at the parallel with the Sussexes, because what is happening to Andrew is a warning shot to Montecito. Harry and Meghan have spent years attacking the institution, thinking they could negotiate their way back in on their own terms. But look at what the king is doing to his own brother, a man who actually lives down the street. If Charles is willing to evict and erase Andrew, a man he has known for 60 years, what chance does Harry have? This proves that the soft king narrative is a myth. Charles III is proving to be a ruthless operator when the survival of the firm is at stake. He is tidying up the loose ends. Andrew is a loose end. Harry is a loose end. The danger of collapse warning has galvanized the palace. They are in survival mode, and in survival mode, there is no room for passengers. So what is the verdict? King Charles is making the hardest decision of his life, but it is the right decision. If he allows Andrew to stay, the rot will spread. The public will lose faith. The monarchy will look like a protection racket for the privileged elite. By cutting Andrew loose, by stripping the name, by taking the house, Charles is proving that the monarchy is accountable. He is proving that no one is above the law, or at least no one is above the consequences of their actions. It is a tragedy for the family, yes, but it is a victory for the institution. The days of the Clown Prince and the Playboy Prince are over. We are entering a new era of the austere, disciplined monarchy led by Charles and William. It is a leaner machine, a sharper machine, and a machine that has no spare parts. Prince Andrew is learning the hard way that blood might be thicker than water, but the crown is heavier than both. We are witnessing the dawn of a ruthless new era for the House of Windsor. The sentimentality of the past is gone. King Charles and Prince William are running a tight ship, and there is simply no room for passengers, predators, or complainers. Prince Andrew is finding out the hard way that a title is a privilege, not a right. When you abuse that privilege, you lose it. It is a harsh lesson, but a necessary one. The crown must always win. I need to hear your verdict on this execution. Is Charles right to destroy his brother to save the institution, or is this a step too far? Tell me in the comments. I read them all. Like the video if you stand with the king's decision, and subscribe for the truth the others are too scared to tell you. Until next time.